Hi everybody, and welcome to Traveling with Russell, and welcome to a new video, and welcome to the suburbs of Moscow. And I thought, we have not done a supermarket tour for a while, so we're going to go walk around the very famous Azbuka Vkusa, which is right behind me. Let's go check it out. Where I actually am in Moscow making this video is a place called Vnukovo Outlet Village. Now this actually isn't that far from my house. Have a look at this Jaguar right here. Very nice. And actually, it's probably hard to tell, but have a look at the afternoon thunderstorm we're about to have in about 30 minutes. We actually came to the outlet mall for a walk around, to come for coffee and cake, and Azbuka Vkusa is right in front of us, one of the more famous, well-known luxury upscale supermarkets in Russia. And I thought it might make an interesting video while I'm here. Am I going to avoid all the cars? Everybody's making a dash to get out of here, knowing that it's going to rain in about 45 minutes from now. Let's get on inside. If the word Vnukovo might sound familiar, that's because the airport is literally on the other side of the forest there. There was actually a plane just flying over, so you actually get planes literally coming right over this shopping outlet village. Now, where we actually are here, there is pretty much no housing anywhere nearby, so you have to come here by car, or like I did, on the bus and then walked here. And as you actually walk in, there is actually some other little stores that are not related to the supermarket. There's a very nice flower shop right here. And then, as is every mall in Russia, there's a little phone shop with some electronics over there on the left. Now I thought we'd have a bit of a walk around, and I'll try to do it slowly so we can actually have a look at some of the things. Now, one thing that I'm going to express quite a lot here is this place is not cheap to come shopping, and it's in a different market to pretty much all the other supermarkets on my channel, and the selection and the range of things is on another level and another scale already. So I'm not really going to focus on the prices, because I think it would be unfair to compare prices in here and then compare them to other stores that are in the nearest suburb or somewhere else in Moscow. But the thing is, you can come here any day of the year and you can get literally anything you need, and any type of fruit or vegetable, and you're going to see a little bit later, fish and different types of foods, meats. There is almost nothing that you can't buy in this store, and the selection is, for me, on another level. Now, I don't actually have one of these stores in the suburb where I live. There is plenty of them that you can come to throughout Moscow and Russia generally. I think there's about 200 of these across Russia. I was actually trying to look it up, but the actual information's a little bit old when you go to read about it. And this fruit and vegetable section here, and all of the classic things, of course, and then everything else is a little bit of a bonus to find, 11 types of potatoes, and then, just all of the things that you wouldn't think of. Have a look, there's pineapples here from Kenya, of all places. Kenyan pineapples. That's just so interesting that you're finding stuff from all sorts of different countries. Now, I think if anybody has ever shopped in one of these stores before, you'll probably know that they're very well known for having products from all around the world, and of course Russian products as well. There's an Asian section here at the end of this shelf, and then there's a grab and go fridge for some caviar, and then because of the temperature outside and then inside, there's a little bit of a imbalance in the fridge here, and all of the beautiful seafood that they've got. and salmon. They've got the little aquarium back there with some very fresh fish. And then all the different types. What I'll do is I'll try and do a full lap around the store so we can get an idea of as much as we can, all the things that are in here. Have a look at all the choices of caviar here, red and black. And there is every brand that you can get. So many types. White caviar. I didn't even know that existed. What's going on with the fish? I was just explained there by another shopper about the fact there's 3 types of caviar. I've never seen white caviar before I came in here. All of the smoked fish, and they've actually got a counter here with ready meals, and these are the type where you can get them by weight, so you can have pretty much anything already pre-cooked, take it home, put it in the oven or the microwave, and dinner is served. And they do all the things in the back here. It's a little bit hard to see where they make everything. And then there's also these fridges here with all the ready salads and different types of pre-cooked food. I'm going to walk right by this lady and be super apologetic for walking around. Very nice salads. Pretty much any type of salad you possibly want, they're available. There's actually an entire middle fridge here with all of the ready-made meals. I saw some pastas here as well. Now, I've been in this shop a couple of times, but even when I come in here, I kind of miss things and I don't catch everything each time. Very nice meat selection. And then over here, pickles and different types of pickled cabbage. Now, we're actually here today on Saturday evening, well, late afternoon. So there is definitely people that are shopping at the outlet mall and then here at this supermarket. Maybe we need some canned meat from different animals, perhaps something from duck. There's different types of fish there. I think maybe this is turkey. So there is literally every type of food you could possibly want and more. And there is more pickled vegetables here. Pretty much every possible one you could think of. And then there's actually a small butcher shop here where they can do all the meats for you. Have a look at those lamb chops right there. Very nice. And look who's joined me. My very famous wife, who isn't on videos too often. So we actually came to the shopping center together, and we've actually already been in here and had coffee and cake. So I'm gonna keep walking around, see if we can find something interesting and something tasty to take home for dinner. All of these different meats that are marinated here. Marinated duck. Check that out. So if you want to have a ready-made barbecue. Now, how convenient is it? There's actually some pasta sauces and then there's some vodka on the shelf right above it. As I keep walking around, I keep discovering things that are very much not available in Russia. And then you come to this sort of store and it's right on the shelf. Now, if there's anybody from England who watches my channel, HP sauce or brown sauce, it's more commonly named. There is also quite a lot of different tomato sauces here. Tabasco sauce from Louisiana. Actually, even the different Jack Daniel's sauces as well. And actually, this next section's got all the different types of salt. I don't even think they've got the normal standard salt, do they? I can't see it. They do have the regular sugar cubes down there though. But there is quite a lot of imported items, more than just the regular Russian produced products. Worcestershire sauce. I think a lot of people probably know that. Even all the different mustards as well. This shop is amazing. And there is definitely people shopping here. This is not an empty store. And there is people with baskets and carrying things and walking around. Perhaps some different jams. I think they have some Canadian maple syrup right there, and then some French jams as well. And what did you grab? Grab some fish?
Fried fish.
Oh, have a look at that.
Yeah, it's very nice.
It's very nice. And we'll walk around to the refrigerated section. Now there is quite a few things here that are very common in Russian supermarkets. And then there's things that are completely not. I noticed here that there was some mandarins in syrup that were from China, which is a little bit different. All of the very normal yogurts and cottage cheeses, and then all the types of long life milk. I think a lot of people know the brand Parmalat. It's very well known. Just the amount of choices as well. That's what's amazing in this sort of supermarket. There isn't just one or two different items, there is shelves of them. Heinz tartar sauce. Very nice. I've not had that for a long time myself. Now the actual supermarket is set up like a boutique supermarket, so it's very different to the normal traditional aisles. All of the baby foods here. And there's a section with some nuts and dried fruits. And there is all sorts of different dried fruits, and the ones where they're actually seasonal as well. And then we come down to some different healthy products. I'm always confused with the healthy aisle. Even when I worked in a supermarket in Australia, I could never grasp all of the different products and what they were. Lots of very nice cheeses, ricotta cheese, lots of different French cheeses here as well. Now Russia does make cheese, and there is some very nice cheeses, but then there's a lot of very nice imported ones as well. And have a look on top. We've got all of the sparkling wines ready for you to grab at the same time. And there's a fridge here with ice cream and lots of very nice ice creams as well, especially with the weather like it is right now. Hugely popular. Very tiny frozen food section, just with a few classic basic things. And then as I swing around, then there is another deli section here, I think. I think they've got different hams and meats and salamis. I love how they put the drinks on the top shelf of the fridges, so you can put more stock out, and you can also cross-promote. Have a look at all of these different meats. Black Angus. These look very nice as well. Yeah, they've actually got a deli here with all the different types of sausages, salamis. This is very nice. There's actually a very big selection. So on one side it's hams and meats, on the other side more cheeses and different of these salted meats. Someone needs to tell me what they're called. These different types of food. I think a lot of stuff in here is a little bit too fancy for me, that I'm not so good at recommending them. So many types of cheese. And have a look, there's some vodka right on top. That's pretty interesting. That's a very nice selection. There is hundreds of choices, not just one or two. Now the point of this video is to show you the other end of the scale of supermarket shopping in Russia. Now there is Azbuka Vkusas all over Moscow and Russia generally, but this is a certain type of supermarket that appeals to a niche shopper. Now my wife chose something that she wanted that she can't find somewhere else. All of these types of teas. Have a look there, the Royal Tea Set. And actually, when you actually look at the price tags, they've actually got the country of origin on them. It's not as easy to read and find them. Lots of different marzipan candy here. And they've actually got a cafe right in the supermarket. I'm just going to squeeze around here. Now when we came earlier, there was a line to get coffee and cakes. And hopefully we won't get anybody's way. They have these very nice sandwiches. And they've got these very nice baristas here who do the coffee for you. So there is actually some cakes that you can buy for takeaway that are already packaged up and different types. And have a look, they've got the regular basket and then the kids one as well. And then I really want to get in and show these cakes if we can, because they're just amazing. Now, I'm trying to be super nice while there's shoppers here, because not everybody wants to be on camera. Now, let me find the one that I had. It was delicious. Have a look at all these choices. I actually had the honey cake right here. This very well-known Russian type of cake. But look at these different cheesecakes. And a lot of these are all for takeaway. We actually sat down and ate in the cafe. And this chain of supermarkets is very well known for their bakery and their coffee shop and cakes. Now, if you're a bread lover, there's probably 50 different types of bread in the store, and it's really so interesting to see all the choices. Have a look at these. These are the ones that have got the filling inside, normally potato or cheese filling. Very nice. Also, these bread rolls. These look very good. Also, it's very hard when you walk around and try to make the video, and then you're just overwhelmed with the amount of choices of different types of food that just aren't in a normal supermarket until you come to a place like this. I'm not too sure about this brand of chocolate, but it looks super fancy, whatever the brand is. And then these very interesting looking chocolates. I'm sure they're amazing. Everywhere you walk, there's these little setups with things that are just enticing you. Then we come to the main chocolate shelf. Of course, a lot of imported brands here as well. So the other idea with this store too is it was designed to have a lot of imported products. Of course, there is Russian products here, but there's really not nearly as many as a traditional Russian typical supermarket. All the types of coffee. And again, you can come here and find the brands that don't exist anywhere else. And there is definitely a lot of imported stuff, mostly from Europe. That's probably the main source of a lot of the things that you're seeing here. French items, Italian items. And then of course, Mondelez. We know that's definitely made here in Russia. I'm going to skip over the alcohol section for a second, and we'll keep walking around the main grocery section, because the amount of choice of candy and snacks I haven't seen bachi for quite a while in Moscow. I did actually get some of these Guerlain chocolates for my wife last week, and we paid a lot less than the price here. And it's interesting that there is things in here that are considerably higher. There's also an assortment that's considerably more as well. Magnum ice creams, very nice. Does anybody like the Oreo ones as well? And then as we come around, some more coffee. I've actually got the capsule coffee here as well. I think my wife is having a chat to the lady at the cheese section, which is not a problem. I think a lot of people are always curious when I'm walking around what I'm doing. I did actually notice there was some Coca-Cola when I was here earlier, and these ones are actually from Poland. And then quite randomly, there's a berry fridge right towards the exit of the store. Now there's a couple of registers over here. There is a beer section, and they're always fixing and improving and tidying up this place. There's literally staff everywhere. And then you can see here as well some of the other imported soft drinks. Dr. Pepper from USA, right on the tag. I didn't come and look at the snacks when I was here earlier. They definitely got Pringles. And all of these other boutique chips, all the fancy chips. That's the right word. This Pellegrino. And then there's actually Australian products in the store. Bundaberg ginger ale right there. Now I was trying to find other Australian products, but I wasn't doing a very good job finding it. But there is other Australian made items in here somewhere. And there is actually a general merchandise area here where they've got some personal care items. And then, of course, everyday toilet roll. And then there's some different kids items here as well. And what I really want to show you is the alcohol section. Now, if you might know some of the fancier brands of skincare, they've got one of them right here. There actually is one of these stores in the outlet mall. And then we can see Zhenya having a look at the shampoo section. Of course, they've got the very normal things, and then they've got the stuff that's just on another level altogether. You can get the wine and champagne glasses in the store. So if you're really stuck and you're buying something on the fly, you can come in here and then buy the glasses as well. These nice gift sets of wine and champagne. Now it's very hard to actually walk around the wine section and look at all the places that they're from. There's definitely a very extensive selection. They've actually got a locked refrigerator here where they started around about $300 or $400 a bottle, and then go up to as much as you like. And then there is lots of middle-priced things, and there are some things that are expensive. Absolutely, clearly they are. Now, I didn't intend to make this video about the pricing. It's really about the selection and the choices and the amount of products that you can still get in Russia to this day. I remember back 2 years ago when I started my YouTube channel, and people said, give it a year and come back, or give it 2 years and come back and make another video. And it's just interesting how you can quite clearly get all of the known brands, and then a lot of brands that perhaps a lot of people have not heard of. Even I don't recognize a lot of choices. I think Moe and Shandon I definitely know. It's quite interesting in this store, it's on like a bottom middle shelf, and it's really not so prominent as it would be somewhere else. We've got lots of more upscale brands of vodka as well. And the wine selection just keeps going and going. One thing that really blows me away about this store, and I've been to them many times before, is the selection and then the amount of choices of a brand of product. So you can get Armagnacs here from any year you like or any vintage. And then they've got cognacs in this section, and then they've got them in the locked cupboard. And some of these are not cheap, absolutely not. There is of course a few recognizable brands, and then some that are just on another level. And just the bottle right here, this is Louis XIII, one of probably the most famous cognacs that are on the market. As we come around to the liqueurs, so definitely all of the brands are very clearly on the shelves. Of course, if you want to pause this and look at the prices, perhaps just work it out as 100 rubles to $1, and it gives you the easy exchange rate. Definitely Bailey's is here in Russia. Even absinthe, you know, it's very well known in Europe, but in a lot of countries it's not available or not legal. We've got some very nice rums here. There's a couple from Guatemala. Yeah, some amazing choices. Now, I didn't really come out of my way to come to this store. I live about 15 minutes by car from this shopping mall, and it really is in my region of Moscow. So it wasn't difficult to come here. Have a look at how many choices of the whiskies they've got. Just amazing that some of the more worldwide famous brands are on the bottom shelf. Then, because of the way the pricing is, they've got more expensive stuff up higher, of course. It's just so fascinating the way they've done this. And just products that even I didn't have any chance of getting while I was working in America in alcohol shops and in Australia. Macallan 30-year-old there. Just incredible, the selection. There's the Johnny Walker King George V, which, depending on where you live, it's not even available, that particular bottle. Just a phenomenal selection. As a person that's worked in retail pretty much all my life, and then worked in alcohol and tobacco sales for about 20 years of that, it's just phenomenal to come into a local Moscow supermarket and see selection like this. And there is good value stuff as well. You can get a bottle of wine for less than $10 a bottle. It's not all top shelf, but there's definitely a lot of premium items, even all the different tequilas as well. And even some of these, you struggle to buy them in Mexico, let alone here in Russia. I really hope you're finding this video interesting. A lot of people have asked me for a long time to make a video at Azbuka Vkusa, and you know, rather than just showing the everyday store, show something that's where other people shop, or the other 1 or 2% of Russians come shopping, and here I am for you. As we've got really nice weather right now, a lot of people are doing barbecues and shashlik, and there's a section right here, and I did notice quite a few people with bags in their trolleys. And there's one that's quite interesting here. Now, it's actually barbecue coals, but it's Alaska firewood, and it's actually from Russia. This is interesting, it's in English, and it's got Alaska on it, of all things. That's just super interesting. Why they've got the English wording. Perhaps people put the trust in getting Alaska-style barbecue coals all the way from Fiji, the famous water, and of course from France as well. And I was just noticing over here different Coca-Colas, and they've got some from Germany and they've got some from England as well, which is quite interesting that there's some from all sorts of different countries, and then also Poland as well, and all of these different imported. You can see the imported products with the labels on them, so where you can see these white labels stuck on the products, it means it's imported from somewhere in the world. As I head on outside of Azbuka Vkusa, I really hope you found this video interesting. Man, the sky has got so dark. It's really like that calm before the storm. And it's really quite interesting that they've got this supermarket in an outlet mall, because I think even around the world that's not very common to have it like that. The traffic to get out of here now is absolutely backed up because there's only one entry and exit from here. So I'm gonna slowly walk towards the exit. We think we'll make it home without getting wet. So if you like the video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to post a comment, perhaps you recognize the brand that I pointed out. And of course, that particular supermarket isn't your everyday supermarket in Russia. It is very much still a Russian typical supermarket. It's just designed around a certain clientele. Now, I don't shop there because we don't have one where I live. And really, most things that I like, I can get at my corner store quite easily. So I don't need to come to a store like this unless we're passing like that. Today, we can go in there for cake and coffee, and it's super nice just to relax between shopping in the mall. If you want to follow me on Telegram, there's a link coming up right now. And then if you want to watch an older video, I'll put a video up of Globus Gourmet, which is an even more luxurious supermarket. You can check that out after this if you like. Thanks everybody. I'm off on another adventure. Bye.